Hello, we are back,
We're back.
ready to go with round two.
Yeah, we got some exciting matchups for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I mean, I know you love seeing our handsome faces, but if we cut to the dice trays, we can see right now what
Yes, at
the
this
dice
very
tray
moment.
1 and dice tray 2, if we can see either or both of those.
Why not both?
Yeah, we'll start with 1. So we've got, this is what I believe.
Very interesting.
Yeah, table 1. This is what table 1 has.
Mhm.
So we've got advanced positions. Yes, this is on the desert table. Advanced positions, hostile environment, sabotage those voice evaporators.
Sabot or repair them, depending on your perspective.
True. Yes.
That should be pretty interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
we got disarray.
Yes, and then this is table
Whoa.
2. This is on our swampy zone.
Disarray and minefield. You don't see that every day.
Someone put mines in that swamp.
Crazy. Well, we saw that last time.
Well, actually, maybe they're left over.
They're
As
they're
mines
just
left over from Daniel.
leftover mines
this game.
from Daniel
Ah,
Lupa.
God, dang it, Daniel. So, disarray, minefield, and intercept the transmissions. Oh,
You know
intercept
what's
the
really-
transmissions again.
What's really interesting, we didn't really talk about battle card selection too extensively in these lists, but you don't see disarray a lot. A lot of players shy away from that.
Yeah, I wonder whose that was. We could probably figure
Yeah, let's
that
find that. Let's find out.
out. In the meantime, yeah, this is going to be interesting for sure.
Mhm.
The advanced positions, you can see there on table 1, or desert table, that we've already got some deployments going on, some guys sort of moving up.
Mm-hmm.
Again, similar to the last game we saw, obviously Luke had recon intel on all his guys, and they're taking a similar position. Right, that line of barricades right there is...
It's going to be a much different game, though, because instead of Imperial gun lines going at it, we've got a Krennic Death Trooper nastiness, but they don't have any major melee threats on the board, and they're going to have to go up against Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
So that'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, LJ is going to be able to hang back a little bit.
And coordinated bombardment, too, is going to make those snipers think twice about their deployment.
True, yes. Yeah, Gordon has... let's see, where is it in here? Yep, coordinated bombardment with his Leia. So
It's a really good tool against those long-range troopers.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, similar positions, although this time, like you said, yeah, it's going to be in sort of key positions where you're going to have sabotage the moisture evaporators. I see three evaporators. So I see one kind of where Gordon has moved up along that barricade there, and then another one right just on the other side of that other set of barricades down in the bottom right corner there. So that's a great spot.
And
for him.
there's one way up on the top.
Right, and I'm not sure where the other one is. Actually, I think I see a tiny bit of its antenna poking out above the arch.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, do you see that?
I do. Good. Well spotted. That's real. Where's Waldo
Yeah.
situation there. Where's the evaporator?
So,
okay, so this is going to be a little bit more dynamic, I think, than that key positions match, because
Yeah.
you've got more of the table in play.
yeah, no, it would be good to find out if we could who is blue player and who's red player for table 1, because that makes a big difference in sabotage the moisture evaporators. We're getting some info.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that Boba Fett is going to be a really good piece in this mission for multiple reasons. You know, for one thing, he's got bounty.
Yeah, so blue player is Gordon for this one. So this is important because moisture evaporators is actually a very defensive
It is.
objective that favors the blue player, because if it's tied, it's very easy for both players just to hang back and work on their own evaporators.
Twiddle those switches.
Exactly. So it often goes to points destroyed, and if no points are destroyed, blue player just wins by default. That's like the final tiebreaker. So it puts LJ in a position where he has to make a move.
It's true.
And they're probably at this level of play, they're probably not going to get to the point where they actually go at each other's evaporators, and this is going to be more of a kill game.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. Although I will say, having Boba Fett in the mix means occasionally you can pull off, that tricky evaporator toggling
That's
near
true.
the end of the game.
Speed 3,
jump 2, that super good armor save, stuff like whipcord launcher,
or getting a bounty,
or go for that bounty, or just use Boba Fett to zone Luke, keep that whipcord in play to sort of stop Luke on a critical round, because there's nothing worse than playing Son of Skywalker and getting whipcorded.
Literally
And
nothing worse.
losing literally nothing in the whole world
Nope, not in the
is
whole
worse than
world.
that.
So, yeah, so right now, as blue player, Gordon has a bit of an advantage. However, I think list-wise, LJ is a little more better, is situated just to hang back with all the range 4 tech that he has.
Range 4 suppression. Rebels don't love suppression unless they're
Right.
pathfinders, and
But
there's no
again, but
pathfinders on
again,
the table
he
here.
has to be more aggressive than he would otherwise because
Hmm.
to make sure that it doesn't just by default go to Gordon, LJ has to eliminate a unit.
No, it's very true.
So the range 4 is going to help him in that, but he's the one who has to go on the offensive.
Yeah, let's check in over on our other table. I'm very curious to see how this disarray is going to play out.
Yeah, whose disarray is that?
Yeah, if we could.
Who did that?
Yeah, who did that? Yeah, disarray is one of those really interesting cards because most people hate playing it. Most people avoid playing it. So if you figure it out, if you crack the code and you know how your list functions on disarray, you can really throw a wild card in there as blue
Well,
player.
I'll tell you who it probably wasn't. It probably wasn't Eric. Eric is running a Palpatine list, solo commander, whereas Kyle has Luke and Leia and can maybe afford to do that.
Yeah, actually,
split
that's
deployment.
pretty interesting. So I wonder if Kyle pushed to disarray in order to throw Palpatine off his grind, so to speak. That's very interesting because Eric, of course, won his previous round.
Good job, Eric.
But now he has to contend with double Skywalkers, and
Yes.
that did not historically that has not ended well for Palpatine. So
No, and
we'll see how that goes.
yeah, and both very good players, obviously.
As the Palpatine player, how do you handle that? Do you put everything in one pocket and then throw a stormtrooper unit over on the other side? Or, you've
No,
got
I don't think
you've got transmissions to grab, so you need to be there.
Here's the thing. I think you had to be a little bit reactive
Mhm.
or predictive because of intercept the transmissions. You're, as we saw in the last game, you're mostly going to concede one to your opponent. Let hopefully they concede one to you, and then you
Mhm.
fight over the middle. Now, because of the weird split deployment with disarray, yeah, Gordon's gonna have to do a careful job to know which one he can concede to Kyle and which one
Yeah.
he can defend.
Yeah, and two, because of the way Palpatine synergies work, you need Palpatine to be near his guards, and you need him to be near whatever unit you want to pull the strings. So wherever Palpatine goes, you've also kind of got to commit another big chunk of your army
Oh yeah.
in order to support him properly. So it's going to be really interesting. And then stormtroopers, their courage is not great, and if they are isolated on away from their commander, that can be a real problem.
Yeah, well, fortunately, though, he's up against a rebel player, so he's not going to see a lot of suppression.
No,
he's not
but
against
even chip shots from like coordinated bombardment and a few Z6 rolls can cause some one bad turn where you have 2 suppression and you don't clear any of it.
True. Although looking at Eric's list, his Palpatine list, he went for 3 strike teams. So one of those just by itself
Yeah.
could probably do okay.
That's true.
If it's in a
Yeah, actually, that's a great unit to just sort of like put out in that little corner.
well, and so if you look at the table too, the back there is cut off a little bit, but I imagine that tree in the very top left corner is in his deployment zone. He might just put a sniper all the way on top.
That's a good spot for
I
him.
mean, yeah, it looks
sure.
like he's already committing over here. What looks like 2 sniper squads are already on the table, or is that all 3? No, I think he measured cohesion between those 2. So I think that's 2 sniper squads. Oh yeah, I can even still see one on his cards there. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what he does. It looks like he's mostly committing to this side. And Kyle, you can see him placing some guys right now, is also putting some guys on this side. So it looks like Kyle is going to try and spread some stuff out. Oh, sorry. I was wrong about what was in player's deployment zone. So that tree that's in the top left there is not in Eric's because it's diagonal. So you can actually see he already has 1 Stormtrooper squad in that opposite side there.
Okay, sure. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he just leaves one part of disarray alone, or if he tries to split his forces up a little bit more. I think the Rebels players, Kyle's got a much better shot at being able to coordinate 2 disparate groups with Leia and Luke.
Here's the thing, though. It's still not ideal
No.
for him either, because generally, Leia's a great option for feeding Luke those dodge
Yeah, she
tokens,
helps her bro.
which are very important for him staying alive,
To be
actually.
sure. Yeah, that'll
So,
be a really interesting match, and I think that this Krennic versus Luke and Leia list is going to matchup is going to play out really interestingly as well. It's really nice to see all those painted miniatures on the table.
mhm.
Some really nice looking armies, and actually, it looks like on table one the basing scheme matches the desert boards. That's always fun when that happens.
Oh yeah, nice.
If we can hop to the tripod real quick, you can see that these rebels actually look like they almost look like they were painted and based specifically for this board. So that's a cool little bit of serendipity there, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
It really just adds to the visual
Well, and
element of things.
yeah, even the Imperials too. Well, maybe not quite as much, but
But close enough.
interesting. It looks like those Imperials have a interesting paint scheme going on.
Yeah,
there.
a
All
very
dark.
intimidating dark paint scheme. I like it.
Yeah,
It matches. It's a really good fit with the Death Troopers
it's
and
like
Krennic.
a Shadow Trooper squad there going
Mm-hmm.
on.
I don't see. Do you see Krennic on the board? I see him. I think in the middle there. I think that's
Chronic.
a cape. Chronic.
Chronic
Orson
and the
Chronic.
Death Troopers. But yeah, so it's it's gonna be interesting to see a Krennic list. For
Definitely. He's my favorite Imperial
Sure. Oh,
commander.
you know what?
I think,
just realized.
just because he's got such interesting gimmicks.
We were talking before about LJ packing Imperial Discipline.
Yeah,
LJ is running Krennic instead.
that he is. So there is no
Oh.
Imperial discipline.
Well,
Instead, there is annihilation
Well,
looming.
looms.
So it looks like he's got all of Krennic's cards. This is actually really interesting. So he's left
Got
one
all
of.
well, and
Let's see.
no, it's all of Boba's, all of Krennic's.
I really like that. He's got no neutral cards.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Well, actually, it works out all right with Krennic's cards
Mhm.
because I mean, Krennic's 2-pip, it doesnn't have to be to Krennic. It's the deploy the garrison.
Right.
And here's another point too. Krennic's voracious ambition.
Very flexible.
That's almost.
That's a better one
That's
pip
like
in
that's like a
flexibility.
1-pip with
It's a super
4
1 pip.
orders. Yeah, exactly.
and
Secret orders.
and cunning. So you're going to guarantee that first turn because there's no Hans in this whole tournament.
That's true.
So Krennic's cunning is going to trump every single other tied card. That's actually huge.
Yeah, definitely. That's a nice little bonus you get with.
I really love cunning. As
yeah.
in terms of another Clone Wars spoiler, because I'm just going to I want to drip these out ever so slowly.
So I don't think anything that we've actually.
Oh, we
it's
haven't.
not
No,
spoiled
you're
yet.
right. You're right.
You
you're
almost you almost let a hot one drop.
Well,
right
I
there,
wasn't
like
going to say the name. I wasn't going to say the
okay,
name.
well-
I was just going to say there might be a Clone Wars commander with cunning at some point. You can guess what that might
Yeah,
be.
well, I mean, a lot of them could have that.
Yeah,
though.
right. It's a notable trait.
Yeah, no, so yeah, there'll be a lot of repeat keywords in the new stuff, but also
Luke's
some spicy
definitely
new ones.
reining me in my insatiable urge to spoil
I know
things.
you and just. Yep. It's okay though. We'll maybe spoil a little something else later on here at some point. Some other upgrade card or something. Yeah, there's a lot of nice neutral upgrade cards coming in the with the new stuff. We had mentioned the electro binoculars earlier. That's going to be one that's going to be nice for generating some of those extra aim tokens. So let's see, what do we got? We got looks like they're pretty close to getting ready to go. Saw some handshaking. I think for table 1, looks like all the forces are deployed. Yep, they're getting ready to choose their command cards. And on table 2, they might be ready to go on table 2 as well. Oh, no, never mind. Table 2, they're still doing some deployment, so we'll stay on table 1 here.
Yeah, table 2 with Disarray. That's a tricky deployment. You got to think about a lot. A lot goes into that.
Yep.
I do kind of like the way that these advanced positions have led to this sort of rebel flanking maneuver. You can sort of see them pooling up around that big rock formation. That's going to protect them, but it's going to let them drop in, fix that evaporator, and also take a really quite commanding position behind those barricades. They can cover a lot of open ground and stay protected. That's a very nice spot. Absolutely.
And that's important for that's important for Gordon too, because again, as blue player, if he can just avoid losing a unit as long as possible, that really puts impetus on LJ to to be on the offensive. And it looks like he's getting ready to do that. I mean, you see how much of his force is clustered up right towards the edge of his battlefield.
Well, this is a classic example of the different styles of gameplay. Rebels don't have the raw defensive power of Imperials. They have to play a different, trickier game.
Yeah.
But that really speaks to, being a world-class Rebels player. You understand the strengths and weaknesses of your faction, and you understand how to leverage, your lack of survivability, but your speed and your superior firepower. And Rebels win games when they focus on the objectives. I mean, that's true for any Legion player, but it's especially true for Rebels.
Yeah, yeah. And what they lack in some range 4 abilities, they certainly make up for with having like Luke Skywalker on their side, some heavy hitters.
Yeah, Luke's no joke.
So the game's starting real soon here. I think I heard 40 seconds or something. So about to begin.
38. No, I think that they're certainly in the command card selection phase. They are figuring out what the
table 1 is raring to go here.
What that opening gambit's going to look like. I love seeing, you know what I love? I love seeing the fleet troopers' white helmets on. Here's the Death Star super laser back in. Now, it's especially appropriate in this game. We can just call that Annihilation looming.
Yeah, that is Annihilation looming. They're lining up some shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so table 2 also, keep in mind, I mean, they had to deploy those mines too. That takes a little bit.
that was a bit. So one of the nice things about this tournament is that the setup is a distinct phase. The clock isn't running.
Yeah.
So you're not.
Clock's running right now.
It is now.
So
but
here we go.
But over on table 2, they're not being penalized for taking their time to place the mines and sort out all the extra complicated
Well, they are
cards.
all on the same clock actually.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yep,
Well, it looks like they are almost ready to go then.
Yeah, they'll be ready to go real soon. I think each of them only has 1 unit left to deploy after this, so they'll be able to go soon.
But yeah, away we go.
Oh yeah, we got to play more there, don't we?
So table 1. Ready to have their cards.
I also love that they ended up drawing evaporators on the desert board.
We can go to dice or to dice tray 1
here. Oh,
here.
Very interesting. Wow, we got heavy firepower right out of the gate.
Wow.
Backpack rocket and coordinated bombardment. What do you think he's up to with that backpack rocket?
Just I don't know. Just going in. Guns ablaze. Rockets blazing.
Rockets blazing. Boba Fett.
I mean, he had a shot and he's taking it.
The notorious FETT.
Yeah. So it looks like I'm curious what his target is for this.
I know, right? That's an early round to be dropping hot rocks like that.
Well, so he's obviously, so as we mentioned, all the rebel lists have Luke and Leia. So obviously his bounty's going to be on one of those guys.
Yeah,
I would usually see the rocket hang back.
I know to try to collect that bounty.
Right, to
because nothing collects a bounty like high explosives.
No, LJ may be taking just capitalizing on an opportunity where something doesn't have cover.
Yeah, that's highly possible. Although he does not have the initiative, the rebels are going to get a chance to dodge up. That's one of the other great things about coordinated bombardment being a 1-pip for Leia. She can issue those all-important dodge tokens and set up an attack. So you're getting a huge number of benefits. You're getting suppression on the enemy, you're getting potential kills on their snipers, and you are getting to distribute those all-important dodge tokens.
That sounds like a triple whammy.
It's a triple whammy. It's on the scale.
On the scale, we're going for triple whammy.
It's a real triple whammy. No, she's one of the most popular rebel commanders for a reason.
So we've got our Brian on our live chat here.
Luke is the bounty.
Yes, Luke is the bounty for Boba. Probably a good call. Leia, obviously.
Squishier, but she can hide.
Well, yeah, and she's going to. She's going to hang back.
No reason for her to get in the mix and give up a victory point.
She has a great.
Luke has to be up in there if he wants to fight.
Right. It makes the rebel player sort of rein in a little bit how reckless they can be with Luke.
Yep.
Because losing Luke to Boba then is just conceding a point to your opponent.
That victory point's no joke.
Whereas Leia, if the bounty's on Leia, Leia's just going to hang back, which she already was maybe going to do anyways. Although, depending on deployments, if this had been disarray, Leia might have been a prime target. You could get Boba very close.
his didn't go too well. What happened with our game?
So looks like, yeah, Leia's laying down a little bit of hurt, mostly suppression.
Game one. Although it did start out good with game one as well.
And I think that's all of Leia's targets. Yeah, so LG's going to go ahead and go with Boba now, and I'm curious, yeah, what the play is here. He's just taking a shot at Luke. He's just doing it.
Okay, we're gonna activate Boba. Alright. Try rally. He does.
Yep. So Boba was one of the ones, one of the targets for Leia's attack. Looks like he actually took a damage from that, unfortunately.
That's a great opening for the Rebels because he's hard to put down.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think Boba's just going ham on Luke immediately.
Well, I mean, the cover's irrelevant because he has the sharpshooter too, but
it's just a big dice pool full of missiles and carbines and.
Yeah.
I don't believe Luke has a dodge token.
Yeah, I see a token next to Luke, but I assume that's the bounty token.
That's the bounty token.
Luke
Yeah, Luke has not had time to dodge.
Yeah, and I think that's why LJ did it.
It's an aggressive move. If he gets good dice here, Luke could take a real hurt.
Does Boba have 2 wounds on him?
I think he rolled double blanks. That's a really bad roll.
Yeah, that is.
Let's see if it was worth it.
For a total of 3.
Not a great roll. And does Boba Fett have Hunter? No Hunter on Boba Fett. That would have helped.
It would have made a difference anyways, actually, at this point, because Luke needs to be wounded for Hunter to proc.
Yeah, that's true.
No, so LJ being aggressive with Boba.
Yeah, trading 2 wounds on Boba for 1 on Luke. That's not a great trade. That was some bad luck, though. I mean, you have a 2 out of 3 chance to save every wound.
Boba should have been fine from that attack.
A coordinated bombardment should not be a big deal for Boba.
Yeah.
That's going to change the way he's going to have to play this.
Well, going back to what we were saying before about who's on offense, who's on defense. I mean, that was LJ trying to get out there and lay on some hurt early as the red player. He's going to have to be careful about Boba now, because if this comes to points, losing Boba, that's 100 and what does he have? He has emergency stims and it's 150 points then.
Yeah, and that's the risk he took. He exposed Boba Fett to potential fire to get that shot, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, we'll see here. I don't know.
Because he's going to have to weather some shots from those rebels too.
Yeah, the rebels should be able to get close enough to hit him.
Mm-hmm. I think Luke can probably shoot him, maybe.
No, I don't think.
No, probably not. That's a little longer.
I don't think Luke is going to be able to get up close enough.
Range 2. Luke may want a double move anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not a great opening for Boba Fett.
Yeah, a little bit of dice skew there for.
Yeah, not a bad plan by any means. Not a bad strategy. But
No. The bad luck for LJ really was taking 2 wounds from the coordinated bombardment. That's where the dice skew is already against him a little bit.
Definitely not have happened.
But that's how it goes though. You adapt. Change your plans, take advantage of opportunities.
Well, yeah, and I mean, really good players, they know how to recalibrate when RNG doesn't go their way.
Right. Well, and
that's what keeps them, winning games that other players might go on tilt and not.
Well, and I'll point out here too.
I was right. Luke's gonna shoot him.
Oh wow, he got close enough.
Hey, you know what? I've played minis games for a long time.
Yep.
Even looking at this screen,
got those laser
from
eyes
far away.
So looking at LJ's list, Boba Fett has stims, as we mentioned, but he also has 2 Stormtrooper squads with medical droids, so he may actually be able to.
Oh yeah, actually, Boba's a great target to spend those on. That's maybe why you can be a little more aggressive with Boba. But if those fleet troopers are in range, man, that could be bad news for Boba.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get quite close enough.
I think they will.
I mean, Luke was able to.
I think
Luke was
they're
a little further ahead.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see, but I think there's a possibility there.
So,
I don't know if Luke is going to shoot, though. He moved up, and I think he's thinking about it.
Yeah. In the meantime,
contemplation.
We can stay on table 1, but table 2, just give you a heads up, they're issuing orders now, so no action really yet, but Entire Legion was played. Eric played Entire Legion, and Kyle played Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, actually, let's flip to 2 for a second, just so we can see how the deployment shook out, because I think it's pretty interesting.
That would be helpful. Yeah, so if we go to table 2, we'll be able to see kind of that really a lot of it consolidated on the close end here. towards the front. So yeah, we'll flip to table 2 in just a second. You can give a look at that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it looks like Luke. What is Luke up to? He's reconsidering his movements there.
oh, did he not shoot at Boba?
It doesn't look like he wanted to expose himself in that fashion.
I think he moved up and couldn't. I think he moved up and couldn't reach.
Oh, so he tried to do that, but then he just. It's interesting to move back like that.
Well,
I guess he doesn't want to get hit by any sort of Death Trooper shenanigans.
yes, he would be shot by a lot of other squads actually.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a calculated play there.
Mhm.
It definitely could have paid off if he could have reached Boba, but looks like he was just out of range.
Yep. All right, let's jump over to table 2 really briefly, just to take a peek at the deployments there.
Yeah. So.
So as you can see, the Imperials, despite the disarray, have concentrated the bulk of their forces on the bottom of the table here.
Well, and what's interesting too, so Kyle, the Rebel player, has also put the bulk of his forces there.
A more substantial flank for Kyle.
Yes,
But
but
yes.
most of the action is going to happen in this half of the table. here.
Definitely. Although those top rebels, I think being able to move down, take cover behind that little berm there, and maybe get some shots.
See, I don't
through.
think that's what they're going to do. They're just going to be for scoring. I think they're going to move towards
Toggle
the,
those.
well, the transmission
transmissions.
tower. I
Yeah.
think they're just going to hang out on the far end of the table there.
If they can eliminate those stormtroopers, though, actually, they could maybe take that top transmission tower
pull,
and
pull up
keep
Kyle's list there.
keep
Does
it-
he have Z6s and everything?
Yeah, Z6s for days.
Yeah, so he does have a little bit more firepower, whereas Eric, he has a stormtrooper squad with nothing in it, and that's the squad that we can see up in the top left there.
Yeah, I think Kyle's going to be able to leverage those top rebels to take out those stormtroopers and claim that.
The top rebels.
Yeah, that's right. Claim that position there. All right, well, you can see the entire Legion's been played, a huge number of order tokens distributed, which is very useful. And it's looking like they're about to get into the mix there. But let's jump back to table 1 where we can see the action unfolding a little bit more here. Some shots fired. It looks like, I believe that's a unit of stormtroopers with a medical droid has moved up to that barricade in order to claim a pretty healthy position there.
Yeah, I still see 2 wounds on Boba.
Yeah, they haven't fixed him yet, but he's very maneuverable, so I think next turn he could move and be in a position to.
Yep. So Gordon's moving up. It looks like the Rebel
Troopers.
Trooper
They should
squad.
be able to get some shots off, although they're not going to be able to touch that barricade, so it will be heavy cover for Boba Fett.
Yeah, quite likely. Unless they're just close enough that from LOS, it's not actually blocking any of Boba.
True.
We'll
We will see how that plays out. But
These are top level players, so they know that kind of stuff.
and here's the thing. I mean, like, it's suppression, it's dice. You never know if Boba's going to have a bad day, and with 2 wounds on him already, anything else you can chip through is going to put him in an even worse position.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I imagine LJ's usual game plan is to use those medical droids on the Death Troopers, so we'll see if he deviates in order to try and sort of bring Boba back from the brink.
Now, one thing that top-level players also know is that they know that range 3, if you're on the very edge of range 3, anything with a range 2 weapon, if it moves and shoots you, is going to be just shy.
Right.
So you can really range control with that.
Yeah.
It takes some of the edge off of those really powerful range 2 weapons. And that's a great, if you're really sneaky and devious with Boba, that is a great way to just control what's coming at you. You can be ironclad sure that you won't be shot if you
Right.
can just get at the very, very edge of that range band. It's all these subtle little tactics
Yeah,
for
these are important.
advanced players. They know that it's just a few millimeters shy of range 3 to move and shoot at range 2.
Yep. Yep, and that's the sort of stuff that matters.
That's why they're here at
That
the
is
FFG
why
World,
they're
World
here.
Finals, stuff like that.
Yep. So it looks like Boba was okay.
Yeah, I mean, he took more wounds than he
No, I
would
mean
have
from
liked,
the from
but
the
nothing,
from the Rebel Troopers.
nothing further.
So I'm putting him on. You're taking
I do love that the Vaporator mission ended up on the desert board. This is all coming
Yes,
together
yes.
very nicely.
Absolutely. And so Yeah. So
Oh yeah, okay. We're looking here at a list of the terrain guides because I think there's been some questions about what stuff counts as.
yeah, no, I do want to. So people following along at home. The players themselves, this is a guideline, and the players themselves were told to come to an agreement on any nuances about the pieces of terrain. For example, you have the tree, the large gnarly tree that sort of splits down the middle and can be moved through, or the archway on the desert tables. As we were saying before, you'd maybe want to treat those as separate pieces of terrain for the sake of whether
Yes.
touching it counts. So those are the sort of nuances and things that the players are encouraged to, like in a normal game of Legion, have 5 minutes, talk through each piece, make sure you're all on the same page. That guide that we put up is really if they can't come to a decision, if there's a dispute, this is just sort of what to default to. But this is a guide, so the players may have agreed on some nuances between them, between each other for their particular game. So, and it looks like this is the
It's Death
yeah. So
Trooper
this is
time.
the sand table.
Bringing him back again.
Here, oh, and they brought him to life.
These guys are gonna go. So the way this formation works, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, just defining what squads are in what squad. That's very useful.
It's nice of LJ to make
So
that
there actually
clear.
wasn't the Death Troopers are not activating, but the Stormtroopers did, and they brought a Death Trooper back from the brink of extinction.
Back to life.
Back to life.
So, and it looks like
They were
he's
like,
just trying to get close to
Death
extinction.
Trooper, you're a life trooper now.
It's true.
Yeah, I think medical droids have been a real boon, especially to Imperials with those
Yeah.
high value units.
I like that. It was
great,
interesting.
great on Luke as well.
They were not used much at all for a long time. Really, only in Palpatine lists. I mean, that's an obvious choice, but it's nice seeing them show up elsewhere. Also, you're seeing
Does it have to be somebody that contributes?
the officer upgrade show up in the lists that have fleet troopers and the snow troopers, just to make sure they get their full activations and have that extra courage. So, yeah, seeing some of those guys pop up is cool for sure.
I love watching these battle lines form. If we can cut to the tripod shot here to get a bit of a closer look. What's really cool is just the way this battle is coalescing very differently from our previous game. You've got what I would call a very, standard Imperial approach where they march forward and lay down fire, but you've got the Rebels really wrapping around this terrain using some kind of guerrilla tactics.
Yeah, very much
It's
so.
very cool to see how the different factions play out like this.
Yeah, so and with the medical droids, as we mentioned, that's going to be part of LJ's strategy is to stay clumped up a little bit so his medical droids can heal the more important units. They're really not going to be used at all to heal the stormtroopers in their own squads. Those
No,
are
that's
much
not a
more
value.
Those are
The only
least
time
valuable.
The only time you would want to do
elements of the
that
army.
is if, conditionally or situationally, you needed that squad to stay alive to score an objective.
Right.
So sometimes you do it, but generally speaking, you're going to probably have expended all of your medical droids by that point in the game because you have Boba Fett, you have Death Troopers, you have things that you really don't want to take wounds.
Right, so hence LJ's formation there, whereas Gordon, a lot more spread out, trying to take advantage of the barricades, and also you can see him measuring right there, trying to get his close range units to move up.
Yep. Yeah, well, here's the nice thing about those fleet troopers. Like, Boba, I think, here is fulfilling... One, he's trying to put some hurt on Luke, but I think more than anything, he's trying to just slow this advance.
Yeah.
Because he's such a threat. But if they're able to... If LJ is able to... or rather, if Gordon is able to... threaten Boba with a full salvo from fleet troopers, that is not something that Boba Fett wants to take.
No, he doesn't want that.
So there's a really interesting kind of bit of gamesmanship here where they're both kind of trying to slow... He's trying to move up, and Boba Fett's trying to slow them down, but they have to be very careful not to expose themselves to that sort of weakness.
Yeah,
Fleet troopers are a little tough to use, but when they get into range, they're absolutely devastating.
Well, and I was going to say, I appreciate Gordon's playstyle here. As we said, as a blue player on Moisture Evaporators, he could just hang back completely and do nothing. And it's a very uninteresting way to play the scenario. So I think he knows that LJ is going to push him, so he's getting set up to push back.
Yeah, for sure.
Rather than just play completely passively.
Got a question in chat from Drogan Forge. How much time do we spend developing a squad and or a commander? As much time as possible.
A long time
is the answer to that question. What is our typical development cycle for each sort of wave of stuff? 5-ish months?
Well, I mean, so there's a huge amount of testing.
There is, yeah.
But then before that, there's development, and then there's concepting before that. So, I mean, it's hard to give an exact number, really. Sometimes, like purely just like putting pen to paper, so to speak. Like, setting up the card file itself is usually relatively pretty quick. But there's a solid month or more before that where you're just sort of letting ideas coalesce.
So I'd say
and then after that, a significant amount of testing. So
usually about 3 months of testing where stuff can change pretty radically.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had entire command cards change. I've had all the command cards change based on feedback.
We've also had absolutely nothing change.
And yeah, sometimes you just like nail it,
Yeah.
and it's funny how that works sometimes. But yeah, I know Death Troopers went through a lot of changes. I think they ended up in a really interesting place.
Yeah, they went through a lot of stats changes.
Yeah.
The one thing that never changed, though, was the armor save, having
True.
that red with a...
We wanted to give them something really special in that respect.
Yeah. So, it looks like we're coming with the laser again here. And checking line of sight, I think...
Who is trying to get a shot? Death Troopers?
Yeah.
Try to get that range 4. Are they trying to hit Luke? Nasty.
No, I don't think they have range on Luke. They're trying to hit, I think they're trying to hit the, well, he's probably trying to decide whether he wants to take a shot or not on the Fleet Troopers versus the Rebel Troopers.
He's doing a little drum roll while he tries to figure it out. I guess it's always funny to see what gamers' own sort of idiosyncrasies or, thinking ticks are. But here comes the hurt.
Yep,
Death
he's going
Troopers.
for it.
No joke. Looking like...
Oh, didn't get to see what he rolled.
Well, we'll see what the number of saves are. Was that Luke?
Yeah, that was Luke.
He did get a crack at Luke, but it did not go very well for him.
No.
Luke is weathering this storm. I think LJ's got to be pretty disappointed with the fact that he put Boba Fett in a backpack rocket plus a whole squad of Death Troopers into Luke, and didn't punch much through. Now he is going to get some suppression, which is useful. But with Courage 3, it's not that big a deal.
3 Courage, yeah.
Well, and Leia's kicking around too, so she can take care of that right quick.
I don't think she's close enough.
No, but I mean in long term, in terms of a long term thing, if it ever becomes really dire. Right. Oh no, she's actually way across the board, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so never mind on that. But still, Luke Courage 3, hard to do much to him.
Yeah. And I mean, you always have the command cards too that can remove suppression. Return of the Jedi, of course.
So from the chat, apparently the Amazon listing for that laser says that it can light a match if you focus the beam.
Oh,
that
cool.
does not surprise me.
Yeah, no.
Maybe I'll bring some matches tomorrow and get Brendan to show me that trick.
Yeah.
FFG Game Center burns to the ground.
Yeah. Sad day.
Maybe not that.
So still trading some pot shots here. That's
really cool cinematic terrain to see all these units moving up.
Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Never played in person.
I was looking at it and thinking about it.
I'm going to fire on this squad here.
Okay.
All right, here comes some Rebel dice. Pew, 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 pew. I think that medical droid, the Imperial medical droid, is one of my favorite minis.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
My favorite thing to do with it, of course, is to use it as counts as General Grievous.
Ooh, that's kind of a spicy roll.
In our playtest
Yes,
games.
you do. Yes, that has been our stand-in for Grievous.
That is spicy. Ooh, nasty.
Yeah.
Is that 2 dead stormtroopers?
It might be.
Yeah, dice are not necessarily breaking LJ's way so far.
No.
say the Rebels are getting the best of this round by a major factor. So we'll see how it goes, though. I mean, it's very early.
Not an insurmountable factor.
No,
to be
absolutely
sure.
not. Absolutely not. But just in terms of wounds dealt, they dropped a Death Trooper, they forced a medical droid activation, they put 2 on Boba, and all that LJ has unfortunately been able to do is a single wound on Luke. So just in terms of that kind of early attrition, that can start to kind of chain
that's
on
true.
you. But absolutely anybody's game. Who knows how this is going to play out?
Yeah, so LJ's Luke's up to 3 suppression, as we said, 3 courage, so hard to keep him down, but LJ's definitely trying to perhaps hamper him and keep Luke at bay.
And not having any luck with the snipers either. He needed to get that through to knock out that sniper team. That would have been very useful.
Yeah.
But you killed one guy on that one, right? Yes.
So we're getting ready to roll some more dice here.
I do think that it's pretty cool that we've got 4 Imperial and 4 Rebel players.
Absolutely.
I know the community consensus seems to indicate that Imperials are a bit more popular. Some people think they're a little bit more competitive. But I think that a really good Rebel player can absolutely bring the heat.
Right, well, I think the Imperials, just as strategic, you got to make intelligent decisions, but there is a slightly better margin for error, I think, with their red saves. Also, they can do a bit more sitting back. And the Rebels can suffer a little bit from a poor terrain setup. As you can see, our boards here are like pretty terrain rich, so there's not really like a disadvantage for the Rebels in that respect. But if you're on a board with, really hardly any line of sight blocking, very little, barricade type cover, then the Rebels can suffer a little bit for sure, because they have the better offensive save. So actually, that doesn't make them more offensive, it makes them more defensive. They have to sort of play.
They have to leverage those dodge tokens. They're also very synergy dependent. They really require good commanders. They do a lot with a little. I think that's kind of the theme of them. And do you have cheaper activations too, so you can get more boots on the ground.
Ah, voilà.
I think we're gonna go
Périphérique
into,
audio USB. Ok. Alors, du coup, est-ce que là c'est mieux? Il faut me dire, je vais consulter mon chat. Donc, n'hésitez pas à me dire si c'est mieux ou pas.
And then same with the creatures too. You have the dewbacks who are very tanky. You can play lots of moves with them out in the open. But then the Rebels.
Donc, comme vous voyez, je suis un peu installé comme un péruvien. Alors par contre, je sais pas si ça vient de là, 1, 2, 1, 2, ou si ça vient de là, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ouais, je crois que ça capte depuis la webcam que je viens de brancher. Ok, ok. Donc il faut me dire si c'est mieux le son, si c'est possible.
They're such beautiful minis too. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, our sculptors did an amazing job.
From like a hobby perspective, I absolutely cannot wait to get those on the table. Dewback's gorgeous.
Yep.
Shore troopers are great. I think honestly, there's great sculpts from waves 1 through 4, but wave 5 in my mind is just solid gold.
Oh, absolutely.
Every single one of those units is gorgeous.
Well, I think the biggest jump was in going into.
Vous pouvez voir juste là, hop, mon chien qui dort comme un caca là. Voilà, mon chien. Hop, je vais aller voir dans les paramètres. Audio. Audio de plus gros, c'est bon par défaut. Voilà. Voilà. On va faire appliquer, ok. Normalement, vous devriez m'entendre mieux. Nickel. Impeccable. Donc du coup, ouais, je peux lire le chat en même temps. Donc n'hésitez pas si vous avez des questions. Et du coup, si vous m'avez pas entendu, Delzone, Il n'y a pas de règle au tournoi pour dire qu'il n'y a pas de véhicule autorisé, c'est juste que c'est la méta américaine. Donc la méta américaine fait qu'il y a beaucoup de troupes et très peu de véhicules, voire pas du tout. Il y en a pas du tout sur ces Worlds en tout cas. Ce que je trouve évidemment dommage, mais il ne faut pas te dire que c'est quelque chose que tu verras toujours. Si tu joues en France, tu vas en voir. Tu vas pouvoir profiter des véhicules. Après, je suis un peu désolé, c'est un peu fait à l'arrache, dans le sens où bah, j'avais mon fils toute la journée et tout. C'était vraiment une retransmission des Worlds. C'était pas un live commentary complet des Worlds, parce qu'après cette game, je vais couper. Parce que Nico le sait, hier, on est rentré un peu tard quand même. Nico sûrement plus tard que moi, vu que moi je suis rentré à 1h30. Après, j'ai dû assumer le réveil de bébé, donc non pas que je me plaigne, mais. Hein. Alors, par contre, on va essayer de voir, suivre un petit peu la game. Petit blocage, enfin adrénaline de def. Alors, qui tirait sur quoi, qui était activé. On peut voir là un petit peu au centre de la map, juste à côté de la TST détruit, qui est une petite escouade de dés, si a l'air. Bah, quoique la position du bonhomme fait que c'est peut-être des storms, mais des storms noirs. Je ne saurais pas vous dire. Après, on voit beaucoup de médics forcément quand on joue des deaths. Première ronde, Nico, le mec qui a la liste Palpatine avec 8 activations, il a perdu son match. Donc j'ai mis les résultats de la première ronde sur la page si jamais. Après rien de fifou, hein, franchement, ouais, rien de fifou pour le coup. Je pense vraiment là où ce sera intéressant, ce sera demain, quand le bracket il sera fini et que demain on aura vraiment les gars qui se disputent la place de champion du monde, quoi. Là ça joue, mais ça joue, ça joue planqué, enfin ce qui est normal. Mais ça bouge vraiment à la fin des 2 heures, quoi. Donc, ah, t'es rentré à 2h15, mec. Bah, ça va, t'es pas fatigué? Moi, je t'avouerai que bébé il s'est réveillé à 7h30, donc je rentre à 1h30, le temps de m'endormir 2h, 2h30. 7h30, coucou. Donc bon. Après, voilà. J'en profite du coup pour regarder un petit peu comment il joue et pour réfléchir à la liste que pour le tournoi de la fin du mois. Tu dors vraiment comme une grosse vache, toi. C'est pas possible. Je suis assez content pour le CPU, il s'envole un petit peu, mais ça a l'air de moins laguer que tout à l'heure. Levé à 11h, mais lol. Ah, ça va. Elle est dure ta vie à toi. Après, je t'avouerai que Nelson, c'est vrai que dans la méta actuelle, là, on voit ça. Un petit char ou des petites escouades de moto, genre de trucs, ça ferait tellement le café. Enfin, en tout cas, de mon expérience personnelle, je trouve, mais c'est vrai que ça manque un petit peu sur ces worlds, les véhicules. C'est pas très représentatif du jeu en fait, parce que on voit que des troupes, on se dit bon, bah, s'il y a que des troupes, ça va me faire chier à peindre, parce qu'il faut les peindre forcément. Donc c'est c'est pas hyper représentatif du jeu. Aux States, oui, c'est hyper représentatif forcément, mais émission d'évaporateur. J'ai un peu du mal à suivre vu que moi j'ai coupé les commentaires. Donc je vois pas exactement où on en est. On est toujours au tour 1, donc à la limite, voilà. Ouais, je pense que c'est des storms. C'est le mec a dû perdre son armée en noir. Mais normalement, il y a une escouade de death dans sa liste, hein, je pense. J'ai plus les listes là sur le coup. Attendez, je vais couper vite fait le chat. Je vais aller voir les listes. Tac. Comme ça, je vous dirai pas de bêtises. Hop. Tac. Voilà. Donc j'accède aux listes. Alors, donc là, on a Chase, Pena, donc Storm, 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 Storm. Donc Pena, il a Krennic, Boba Fett, 4 escouades de Storm, 2 avec Medic, 2 avec DLT, une escouade de Death Trooper, et une, 2, 3, 3 escouades de Snipe. Que j'ai pas vu où est-ce qu'il les a mises. Bon, à la limite, c'est pas trop grave. Et du coup, Chase. Donc on a un Luke, Leia, Fleet, Rebel Trooper partout, Rebel Commando, 3 et 3 escouades de snipe aussi du côté rebelle. Bon, honnêtement sur ce match-là, j'espère que la liste impériale va gagner. On regardera. Enfin, pour l'instant, on est focus sur eux. Après, pourquoi pas, mais peut-être que normalement, après, on va avoir la deuxième partie qui est en cours. Sachant que normalement, je crois qu'il y en a 3 qui sont en cours. Donc on est fin du round 1. On va passer à la phase de commandement du round 2. Je me remets sur le chat, les gars. Qu'est-ce que tu veux dire par là? Delzone, il est en mode tranquille. C'est toujours tranquille mon chat, moi je suis qu'une petite chaîne, hein. Je suis pas French War Game Studio. Bah, après, pour te répondre à ton message, un ATST sur le champ de bataille, ouais, ça en impose clairement, ça fait peur. Mais le problème, c'est que là, un ATST, c'est 200 points minimum. Donc, dans une liste où tu as besoin de troupes, sachant que l'ATST ne capture pas, l'ATST c'est compliqué. Alors que des motos, bah voilà, tu aurais été chercher les mecs derrière et tu les aurais défoncés. À la limite, des motos pour chasser les snipers, ça passait bien. Donc là, on peut voir donc, la carte impibe de Leia qui n'avait pas encore été jouée. Donc là, ah bah non, pardon, je dis la merde. Donc la carte rapide de Luke Skywalker qui lui permet de faire une double attaque. Et la carte déployeuse de garnison de Krennic qui permet de mettre en attente les Death Troopers, donc qui permet de leur donner des pions visés gratos. Sur 2 unités, si je dis pas de bêtises. Les Deaths sont derrière Boba, oui, je crois que t'as raison. Je crois en effet que t'as raison, au niveau du pilier, ouais. Après, il a l'air de jouer ses Deaths un peu moins bourrin que les miens. C'est vrai, oui. Bon, j'arrive, je vais me chercher un petit truc à voir. Il y a un petit écho. Ah, tac. 1, 2. Alors normalement il n'y a plus d'écho, c'est réglé.
want Luke to go down. Luke's taken a couple wounds. He's got a lot of suppression.
Yeah, what did he take wounds from? What was that? That was
Death Trooper shot him. Sniper shot him. Like LJ's focusing down our boy Skywalker here, which I think
yeah,
is the right call.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Gordon has to make the tough calls here.
Normalement
Question from the
c'est
chat. Did you move
réglé.
Luke up from last round? He was short last time. Yeah, I believe Luke's was just kind of juking up slightly so that he can get those shots on Boba. Of course, that garrison makes Luke have to think twice about that.
Yep. Now the Death Troopers though, I don't know.
Donc on est round 2 à 30 minutes, ouais, à peu près 30 minutes de jeu. Ça joue quand même un peu plus vite que tout à l'heure. En tout cas j'en ai l'impression. Luke est en bonne position là, par contre mettre Luke comme ça près de Boba Fett, sachant que Boba Fett est insensible au perforant, pourquoi pas, mais bon. Bon, en tout cas merci d'être sur le chat les gars, ça fait plaisir, ça m'aide un petit peu à régler le truc. Alors donc on a Pena qui lance 3 jets de défense sur Boba, donc Boba évidemment qui défend en rouge avec adrénaline de défense, donc ça a du mal à prendre des PV. Donc il prendra juste de la suppresse, mais Boba il a morale 2, donc salut Tiham. Ou Tiam, je sais pas trop. Excusez-moi si j'écorche vos pseudos. En tout cas c'est cool, ça joue un peu plus vite que tout à l'heure, c'est un peu plus intéressant. Mais je pense aussi c'est le déploiement qui fait que là dans cette position, enfin la position avancée plutôt pour parler en français, c'est plus intéressant parce qu'il y a plus vite de la fight. Et vu que là il faut aller chercher les vaporateurs pour les détruire, pour les impériaux et les empêcher d'être détruits, si je dis pas de conneries, pour les rebelles. Après ça c'est des missions que j'ai... Enfin en tout cas cette mission je déteste à jouer, je l'ai joué qu'une fois contre Nico, je me suis fait dépouiller. La première fois que je la joue, la première fois que j'ai l'occasion de la jouer, c'est en tournoi, génial. C'était génial, du coup je me suis complètement fait ouvrir en deux. Sachant que sur ce tournoi, les dés ils étaient pas avec moi, mais alors pas du tout. Bon. Après ça restait une partie où je me suis bien amusé. Moi à chaque fois que je fais un tournoi je m'éclate. Par exemple là on a un tournoi à fin du mois avec Nico. J'y vais pas pour gagner, clairement pas. J'y vais parce qu'il faut un dernier. Hein, mais bon, moi je vais pouvoir jouer 3 parties à la suite de Légion. Et ça pour moi c'est le kiff ultime quoi. Alors du coup on a Ria contre Dormnos. Ça a pas mal avancé aussi. Bon, je vais attendre le petit récap qui me montre vite fait. Bon, et si jamais au football féminin, l'Allemagne est qualifiée pour les quarts de finale. Je sais pas quand est-ce que la France joue, mais bon, peu importe. Alors, il y a l'air d'avoir des pions conditions un peu partout, donc je crois que c'est... du coup, c'est le champ de mine qui est joué sur cette map. Le déploiement, il y a un peu... Enfin, là, honnêtement, j'arrive pas à le voir. Bon, par contre, il y a l'air d'avoir quand même pas mal de délai entre le moment où je vous parle et le moment où vous recevez le message sur la chaîne. Je vais mettre un petit coup de lumière tout de même. histoire de pas avoir l'air d'un cadavre.
we're seeing sort of the same thing we are on the desert table here on the swamp table, where the Imperials are clustering up and the rebel players are able to spread out more.
They're trying to they're trying to move their forces through this giant tree, which of course provides some physical challenges when you
Bah,
have
je t'avouerai Nico que là, du
ants.
coup, en les voyant en partie
So,
aussi,
but it is
c'est
a
vrai qu'en
pretty
fait
decent map piece because
les
it's
tables,
a
bah,
tunnel
elles sont pas
that
si
you can
dégueulasses que
move
ça en
your army
fait.
through it.
Yeah, and
Avec les
I think
barricades
the
et
way the
tout, ça le
tree
fait
is
je trouve.
that it's difficult
Ça le fait
for
même
Wraiths to
carrément.
move along any of the base part
Yep.
that the roots are going down into, but it's just open completely in the middle
Yeah, you
there.
can just move right through that like a little tree tunnel.
A little tree tunnel.
Mais en vrai,
So, yeah,
je parle sur toi Nico, parce que je connais Nico, mais je vous parle à tous. C'est vrai que là,
I will say,
vous
because it's
mettez
a
des
tournament
escouades de
play, there
moto
will
là-dedans,
be
mais
two
putain, mais
actions
vous
between
défoncez
playing
tout,
it
c'est un
all,
truc de
but
fou.
the casual player
C'est
probably
vraiment
still
dommage qu'on
won't.
n'en voit pas, qu'il n'y ait pas du tout de
Well,
véhicule.
those guys will
Après,
not
je peux
let me
comprendre qu'on
roll.
mette pas un
But of course
TRTT
it's a
ou
tournament, so
un char parce que c'est difficilement manœuvrable dedans. Mais
I just lost a mini inside the tree. You know, that's
des motos là-dedans, c'est nawak. Même des
the
TLTT à
rules
la
on
limite pour les
terrain.
rebelles parce que
he's currently confronting
c'est des
himself
véhicules
via
grimpants
a
donc
dream sequence.
Stormtrooper is gonna fight another
qu'est-ce qui,
stormtrooper.
Yeah,
qu'est-ce
and
qui vous
the
gêne?
mask is gonna
Rien du
blow
tout.
open. It's gonna be his own face.
Yep,
Donc,
It's gonna be
exactly. I
crazy.
think you
donc
take a
bon.
suppression of that.
At least one.
Yeah. So, yeah, we can cut back to table one.
We'll leave them to their tree manipulations
Bon,
for
par
now
contre, ils
and
veulent
go
pas
back
mettre
to
le récap avec
table
le
one and
déploiement et
what's
tout, hein.
cooking
See
over
what's
there.
cooking. Oh, it looks like Boba got
Ah,
out.
on
Boba got
revient
out of
sur
the
l'autre
way.
partie.
Boba's no longer
On
there.
est
I'm sending
bien,
minis
enfin
back.
bientôt, à presque 1 heure de game.
Oh yeah, no, he just moved. He just jumped over there.
Alors, où est Boba?
No, no.
Je ne vois
It
plus
was
Boba.
Luke has not activated yet, and now Boba's gone. So deploy the garrison, absolutely the right play there.
Et Luke n'a pas
Definitely a
bougé.
good card.
Il a pris 4 pions de suppression, Luke, déjà.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that in testing.
Oula.
So see, here's a little insight into how we test some things sometimes. You know, it's really important that things are cool.
Yeah, honestly,
that's
cool factor is a big reason why cards end up the way they do.
well,
Because
and
Bon,
it
après,
doesn't take
on
things
voit sur
over.
Luke
It
qu'il y a
doesn't take
toujours
things
la
over
prime,
too
donc ça veut
fast.
dire que
No,
Boba n'est pas
but
mort.
it'd be a shame
Ou
to
en tout
have
cas, je ne
something,
pense pas.
just sort of be a dud.
Trop
So how
lol.
much do you
Et
start
en bas à gauche, là, on voit les 3 escouades de snipe. Ça, je trouve ça
and then come
tellement
down? So
dégueulasse.
the original version, the first version of Deploy the Garrison,
Mais
it was
bon,
just every single unit with a face up or a
après,
token gets a
c'est la
standby.
méta qui veut
it
ça,
was
hein.
so bad.
Uh,
It was so bad.
Autant mettre
it's
2
funny.
escouades, bon, à la limite, mais
We made it that way, and I was
je
just
préfère
like,
m'éclater en mettant autre chose, quoi.
I
Les
realized they could do
snipers,
it.
c'est pas ultime
And
pour
it's
moi.
not right away. It took them a little while, but
Je
kudos
préfère
to
mettre
them.
un truc qui va taper
Wasn't
ou...
long before we saw a list that ended up with what 11
Ils ont ajouté combien de barricades? J'en vois au moins
standby
9.
tokens
Je
on
crois
one
que
turn.
c'est
You can
4
make
barricades par
crossing.
personne. 1, 2, 3,
And
4. 1, 2,
on
3 et
you
4.
put E-webs
5,
as
6.
supports,
Oh yeah,
Death
it was
Troopers all
disgusting.
So yeah, that was fun.
2,
And then we
3,
changed
4,
it.
5,
Well, you
6,
remember
7,
when
8, 9,
June
10.
could
Moi
use
j'en vois 10.
rebellious, like
J'en
Oh,
vois
twice in a
10
row.
là
Yeah,
sur
that's
cette
right. The
map.
original version of her card was just
Donc,
10. You can just take a suppression.
je sais pas,
anyway.
peut-être un
yeah,
petit
so
truc...
she would just like shoot a million times around to
Well,
curtail that.
not a million. It's
Three.
Parce
still
qu'après
dependent on
on
how
voit pas
many
bien la mise en place du
enemies
terrain.
True.
But yeah,
Pretty
Donc du
fast.
coup je sais pas si...
Um,
S'ils mettent chacun 5 barricades ou un truc comme ça, mais déjà que 4 des fois je trouve ça trop, alors 5...
So we just that Stormtrooper squad is still alive.
Bah oui.
That LJ squad there. That
Ouais ouais, après est-ce qu'il n'y avait pas une escouade de snipers Ah bah non, ouais non, là on est du côté rebelle. Donc c'est... Enfin je sais pas, là l'angle de la caméra ne nous permet pas de voir les snipers impériaux. Putain c'est chiant, on voit... Oh, on voit lui a pris cher. Un petit médic en moins. Bah oui, écoute Nico, ça a l'air d'être ça, a l'air d'être 5 barricades chacun. Déjà que 4 chacun, pour moi ça fait beaucoup, alors...
I mean, that was the forwardmost unit, so it was sort of not surprising that he was going to take that sort of the brunt of the
Impérial mesure une
he did
portée
use the medical droid to bring back one
vers
guy,
ses potes.
Yeah.
but he lost the
Une
other.
portée
He
2.
lost the
Donc
other charge.
c'est les
Yep.
pions esquives ou c'est inspiration, je pense. Peut-être plus inspiration parce que les pions esquives ça doit être à portée 1. Comme pour Virs pour les pions visés. Bon, je fais mon petit coup de pub, hein. N'hésitez pas quand même à partager
So yeah, one of LJ's units
le lien,
is
hein, s'il y a des gens qui veulent nous rejoindre, comme ça si le chat il s'anime un petit peu plus, c'est même encore mieux. Autant pour vous que pour moi, hein, parce que moi du coup je peux un peu plus vous discuter avec vous dans le chat et en regardant la partie. Mais je sais pas pourquoi on voit pas beaucoup la deuxième partie, je sais pas, elle doit être chiante ou doit avoir un problème parce que
so that
on la
strategic
voit pas,
krennic
donc
on
c'est un peu
draw,
dommage,
so
mais
death troopers discipline 1 will help. Oh man, that dice that was not so hot.
c'est un peu
Yeah,
Finally,
dommage.
a little luck for
Gordon
LJ.
just taking a whole mess of guys
Après
off
je vous
the
dis de
table.
partager le lien, c'est
Um,
si vous le souhaitez
that
quoi, là,
looks
on est
like
à l'heure
everything but the unit leader.
on est à
What's that?
l'heure du soir, donc ce sera peut-être un peu
Yeah,
mieux quand
so
même
I assume that's
que
it.
tout à l'heure où je pouvais pas être là en vocal ni
Well,
en.
that's finally a little bit of luck for LJ.
Boba est derrière la
When you're
colonne,
thinking about it out
d'accord,
loud.
ok.
Yeah. Now, does Luke have?
Ok, ok.
Is that 3 wounds on Luke already?
I believe it's 2.
Well, do you see the orange token right above
Yeah, I
him?
don't know what
Mais
that
ouais,
is.
par contre, je vois vraiment pas
Don't know.
les snipers impériaux.
Maybe it would surprise me, but I guess anything's possible.
Yeah, again, so looking at
Après, je
pictures of
vois
this,
un
he does have 3
vaporateur.
snipers, so he certainly
I'm wondering if
On
Luke
dirait qu'il
would
joue
have been
pas
better
sur
off just like camping behind
toute
them,
la surface.
line of
Donc c'est
sight
bizarre.
blocking terrain for a little while.
yeah, well, again, this goes back to that round
Bon,
1
après,
actually.
Pena a l'air d'avoir perdu quelques bonhommes quand même,
LJ
donc peut-être
certainly
que les
almost
snipers sont déjà morts, mais 3 escouades de
almost lost
snipers
Boba Fett that
déjà
play,
décédés,
but it may be paying off
c'est qu'il y a
because
vraiment
Boba
pas eu de
Fett
bol
can
quoi.
just jump back and hide and
Oh
just
yeah.
snipe from long range, whereas Luke really is not going to do anything unless he gets close enough, and now I don't even know if he wants to, quite truly.
Mais c'est vrai qu'elle est cool, enfin moi ce terrain je l'aime bien.
I'm sure those snipers are hitting you.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know.
that's what's going on.
Do you see where LJ snipers are?
No, and that's probably indicative that they're pretty good at their jobs, right?
Yeah. Well, so if you look where the moisture evaporators are, the one at the very, very
Ou c'est
top
peut-être
is the one
l'angle de
on the
la
other side
caméra
of
qui est mal
the
foutu, du coup les snipers ils sont au
yeah, on the
fond,
very top at the
tout en
sniper
haut,
squad
I
sitting
think so.
next
I
to
think
it.
so too.
tout en
So
haut,
that being
et du
said, though,
coup
LJ using the snipers against Luke means that Gordon's snipers are free to try to win that sniper war,
That's true.
which
après
makes
voilà,
a big
si tu les
difference.
mets là-bas dans le
Yeah,
fond.
absolutely.
Ah bah si, ouais,
This is a
au
very
niveau
close
des
game.
évaporateurs, il y a l'air d'avoir des
Developing.
snipes, je pense que c'est ça.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of
Moving at a decent clip too.
that's one of the
Après
reasons that these
utiliser ces
units
snipes pour
get the
défoncer un
boost because
évaporateur, c'est utile, mais c'est
like
pas
sitting back and like
leur
okay,
but.
do double duty. Just work on that moisture evaporator, but also take some shots. And they're cheap. They're
Parce
cheap.
que là du coup, en tout cas, le plan de Pena a l'air, ce que lui, il s'est déployé donc en haut à droite, ouais, en position avancée, donc c'est sur
We're looking at
tout le haut. Il a rushé
kind of the
avec
tail end of this round here.
le
The new
gros de ses troupes
activations
vers le
have
vaporateur qui était du côté rebelle.
bulk of things have
Il y a l'air
been
d'avoir un vaporateur
the important
au
things
niveau
have
du
been
centre
done.
de la
So
table,
we're going
ce
to
qui est
see
normal,
a little more maneuvering, a
je
few pot
pense, en tout
shots
cas
that
là
are
où il y a
very easy to
l'unité
aim so far. Wounds on both
d'impériaux.
sides. Pretty good positioning on both sides. I think Gordon is going to struggle to use Luke effectively because of the way LJ's been zoning him out. But that has freed up Gordon's forces on the rest of the table to start taking models off the board. They have not been pressured as much as his heroes have. So that's an interesting dynamic there.
On arrive bientôt à l'heure de jeu. Je serais curieux de savoir où est-ce qu'on en est au niveau des points.
And get some sharpshooter shots through those units in cover. That might not be a bad play in the long term. I tend to be a little aggressive with Leia, which is can help or hurt. But I think if I was in Gordon's shoes, I would want to bring another gun to the party in that respect.
T'as 2 rounds, 1 heure quoi.
But
Bon
yeah,
après,
we'll see how the shooting works out
c'est à
for
peu
him.
près
He's
ce
got
qu'on
a
a
lot of
mis hier
nice
quoi. Mais,
aim fire shots with some decent weaponry. So
je pense que le
it's gonna
round
help
4 ça va être
continue to
le
chip away at LJ's army. Not a
double
bad
crit,
roll.
2 touches,
Got that
bon,
aim. Better.
avec le pion visé, donc 3
Punching
touches,
pretty
moins
through.
2
Not too
couverts
bad into
lourds,
heavy cover.
ça fait 3 touches,
And
2
there's 2
morts,
Stormies down. That's
pas
a
de
pretty good
bol.
shot. You do that round after round, and that's how
Tant pis.
you grind down the Empire.
Ouais,
And the other bonus is
c'est
it's
pas de
another medical
chance,
squad unit. So if he can put the pressure on that squad, he can prevent the death
c'est
sentence from
sûr.
coming back. He can keep those wounds on Boba. That's a good target.
Ça pioche
I
quoi?
think he's
Oh, un
very, very
snipe, je vais... En tout cas,
clearly
non. Une troupe.
attempting to put the pressure on those healing units because he knows how effective each one of those healing tokens is.
Il y en a qui ont de l'espoir.
Range measurement here. That is another unit of stormtroopers, I do believe.
C'est marrant parce qu'ils mettent même pas le gabarit de mouvement.
The all black.
Enfin, je sais pas.
Job, that's very cool.
Au bout d'un moment, vous êtes à des Worlds, montrez l'exemple, quoi. Parce que là,
Now let's jump over to
c'est
the
vrai que les
sci-fi,
Américains ont beaucoup
shot
tendance à
again,
faire
so
ça.
we get a bit
Je
of a
regarde pas mal de
close-up on
parties américaines et anglaises.
action.
Et les gars, en général, ils se disent, bon, c'est bon, j'ai la distance et ils mettent jamais le gabarit. Après, des fois, c'est casse-couille de mettre le gabarit, mais au moins, ça permet à l'adversaire de voir que le mouvement, il est legit, quoi.
Gonna see some kneecaps through the bone zone, so they're gonna try to get some blaster shots through. Nothing
Un crit.
home, no, just a suppression. And that's the thing we were talking about earlier. Moving and shooting with
Enfin, une
stormtroopers is a lot
adrénaline,
less
pardon.
effective than aiming and shooting with that precise one.
Après, c'est compliqué quand même à commenter une partie de Star Wars Légion parce que c'est pas le truc le plus fun du monde, hein. Je trouve ça hyper intéressant à regarder, mais à commenter, c'est pas, c'est pas ouf, quoi.
I like how this fight is playing out. It's very tactical.
Why don't we check in on table 2?
Yeah, let's just scope out the action. I see some movement. I see some royal guards running up the field. Just get a look at what's
Ah
going
bah
on.
voilà, on passe sur l'autre.
So you can see those three red
Bah
dots
l'autre, il n'y a pas
there.
l'air d'avoir grand chose qui bougeait non
Those
plus.
are the royal
C'est
guards.
interception des
I think that's one
transmissions.
of them actually still,
Donc faut aller chercher les objectifs.
which is pretty cool.
D'Israël, je sais plus c'est quoi le nom français.
But it looks like the Empire is sort of trying to
C'est pas très important, mais bon.
that the rebels have put it in.
Gotta get out of that box.
Get out of that disarray zone. I really do think Kyle pushing to disarray and making that happen is
Après c'est cool de voir un petit peu la table jungle.
But we don't know.
Pareil, là on voit 1, 2,
Still,
3,
but I
4,
can't imagine Eric would have wanted disarray with
5,
Palpatine. I guess
6.
I'm
Je vois au moins 6
speculating, but,
barricades.
I am pretty confident that was a
Well, hey, you know
Kyle
what we could
decision.
check? Look at their armies.
Oh, that's
Does
true.
Eric even have disarray in his? Let's see here.
Ici pareil, toujours du
Wow, very
médic.
interesting. Maybe it was Eric somehow.
Does Kyle have it?
No, they both
Vu que
have it.
j'adore jouer les DS, par contre je serais peut-être tenté d'acheter une deuxième botte de spécialiste ou d'acheter un proxy pour faire
Actually, no.
un
Nothing for
deuxième
competition games.
druide médical.
I wouldn't be surprised though if it was Kyle.
Et là, le truc qui doit être chiant par contre, c'est le champ de mine pour aller chercher les transmissions.
Actually chose it. It's working out pretty well for Kyle.
La misère.
Yeah, although you do have to.
Ah bon, c'est bon enfant, c'est déjà ça.
The Imperial Army is
Donc je crois qu'on arrive à la fin d'un round.
an army like this.
Je sais pas on est round de combien par contre. À l'heure de jeu, je pense qu'on est fin du round 2 comme sur l'autre partie. Peut-être, oui, je crois. Je sais plus du tout le nom français, mais ouais, je crois que c'est ça le déploiement sur les deux diagonales.
I actually don't know. You know who else?
Après, je t'avouerai que j'ai un peu la flemme d'aller chercher mes cartes. Là, donc,
The clones.
Clones? Yeah,
Oh, man.
you love a clone party.
I have patented the clone party. That
Token sharing's no
where they're
joke. They can make an unbelievable.
Bon, au moins, ce qu'il faut se dire, c'est qu'on a la chance d'avoir la retransmission des Worlds avec les grandes guillemets. Donc, bon, moi, on a la chance de voir ça, d'avoir un petit peu de Star Wars Légion en stream. Après, bon, je pense pas que ça explose les records d'audience non plus, hein. Faut pas déconner, mais au moins, on peut voir un petit peu comment jouent le top 8 des meilleurs joueurs du monde. Parce qu'après, je mets des guillemets, évidemment, parce que c'était... Ah, on est que tour 2, non. Oh, petit Palpatine. Alors, comment est-ce qu'il va jouer sa carte, du coup? On a égalité, et du coup, c'est Palpatine qui aura le... Donc, qui aura l'initiative.
That they do.
Là, apparemment, je crois qu'il y a des personnes dans les zones de mines.
Oh, yeah.
Ça,
The
c'est
new
pas trop
factions
mal.
play crazily differently from
On
Rebels.
peut voir au centre de la table qu'il y a une escouade de garde qui est partie faire péter les mines. Je pense que c'est ça.
But like, you know, it's the little tweaks. Like, clones stat-wise have a lot of similarities with
Par contre,
Imperials,
cette
but they
carte des
have
rebelles,
this
je sais plus du tout ce
extra,
qu'elle fait. Je sais plus si
you
c'est
know, with fire support and token
dès
sharing.
qu'ils reçoivent un ordre ou un truc comme ça.
It's so good. It
Mais
means
en
that
tout cas,
nothing
celle-là
is
de
wasted.
Palpatine, j'aime beaucoup. J'aime beaucoup car c'est celle qui donne de la, enfin, qui donne le choix en gros
Yeah,
de
because of
dire
the way their order
à
systems
son
work, you have
adversaire
to
non
have
non
the
tu
AI and
actives
so
pas
like
celle-là, tu vas m'activer eux et s'ils font pas une attaque qui reçoivent autant de pions suppression, elle est assez sympa. En tout cas, les cartes de Palpatine, elles sont terribles. Alors, concernant les VF, normalement, je mets des guillemets, elles sont en route. Elles devraient arriver avant septembre. Je je travaille pas chez Asmodée, donc je peux pas te dire c'est certain, mais je pense que oui. En tout cas, elles devraient arriver un petit peu avant septembre. Euh, En tout cas, elles vont arriver. Voilà. C'est soit tu patientes, soit tu patientes pas comme nous et t'achètes en VO quoi. Après, je le rappelle, Nico a fait un super fichier sur le groupe Star Wars Légion France sans tirer, c'est important. Star Wars Légion France, il a fait un super fichier traduction anglais-français des mots-clés. Donc rien que pour son taf, tu peux acheter en VO quoi. C'est pas trop gênant. Mais bon, après, je veux dire, Asmodée France, j'espère qu'ils vont pas se plaindre qu'ils vendent pas de Légion, parce que on peut pas les acheter. Donc, au bout d'un moment, voilà, faut arrêter de se foutre de notre gueule.
That was a big goal for me, was to make sure that it wasn't any like truly harder to play or an excessive number of activations. So rather than
or a huge advantage from
right,
activations.
right. So they have bigger units, but the price is still pretty comparable to a
Ah là là.
Still cheaper. So
It's in the ballpark.
J'espère qu'un jour, je pourrai vous filmer en live un tournoi majeur comme ça, avec autant de matos. Ça, ce serait pur kiff. Même sans jouer, forcément. Mais au moins, profiter du truc. Bien que je pense, si je joue pas, ça va me faire chier quand même. Mais bon, hein. Une des troupes qui est activée, donc qui va avancer vers la troupe qui est en face de lui. Mais de rien Nico, moi je salue le boulot que tu as fait, hein, franchement. Ça faisait un moment qu'on en parlait et toi tu t'y es collé et tout seul en plus, qui plus est, donc voilà. C'est pour ça que je partage ton travail, parce que bon, fallait s'y coller quand même. C'était pas le truc le plus fun à faire en plus. Alors par contre je viens de voir qu'on a à peu près 30 secondes de décalage entre vous et moi. Donc vous étonnez pas si...
This is very cool, and he's making sure he's in range to pull the strings. I love this maneuver. Yeah. So now Kyle's got to pull a core unit token to get them out of there, or he's going to be.
Mais il mesure vraiment les portées là?
And steady. So I think there's some flames coming right now. I think he might have pulled the strings earlier to get them up, and now he's.
Peut-être rester à portée de commandement de Palpatine, parce que Palpatine je le vois pas. Là, je pense qu'il est dans le petit truc là hop, qui a juste là. Juste là. Hop ici. Dans le petit arbre. Je pense qu'il est là-dedans. Après je vous avoue que j'ai pas une qualité de ouf. Et normalement, je dis bien normalement, demain si tout va bien, je vous ferai le commentaire avec Pierre O. Si tout se passe bien, of course. Peut-être sur sa chaîne parce que du coup je vois que mon PC il est un peu en souffrance, ce qui est normal. Hein, j'ai pas un PC de compète non plus. Donc ce sera soit sur ma chaîne où je retransmettrai le live de Pierre, ou soit ce sera directement sur la chaîne de Pierrot avec moi en vocal. À voir avec lui, on verra demain, mais on va déjà profiter de la game qu'il y a là maintenant, sachant qu'il y a une troisième game qui sera après, que je vous ferai pas le commentaire, hein. Comme je vous ai dit tout à l'heure, je me suis couché trop tard, je suis claqué, alors je vais éviter de gueuler trop tard aussi, parce que bébé fait dodo, alors mon bébé passe avant tout.
Yeah, he doesn't want to put Luke into harm's way, and just a double tap on a wide open boba with that Luke.
Ouais, escouade
Because
rasée,
keep in mind, boba may
ça
have.
pique grave.
Yeah, well, Boba Fett has impervious, but like he still doesn't want to be shot with Pierce. The impervious helps, but it's not immune Pierce. It's still ideal to shoot at him with a Pierce
Par
weapon.
contre, c'est marrant parce que je trouve cette table plus intéressante à regarder.
No, it's a sniper.
Après, c'est peut-être le fait que je sois daltonien, une table où c'est vert, bon, voilà, hein.
Is that just
Mais je trouve celle-là plus intéressante à regarder. Je parle surtout au niveau des décors et tout.
no? That was Gordon's role.
Et on peut voir en haut aussi au niveau de Pena, donc à droite tout en
I
haut,
don't think
il y a une espèce de,
was that Leia taking a shot?
on dirait un chargeur de revolver ou un truc comme ça. Et en fait, dedans, c'est un truc que vous pouvez trouver sur Etsy ou ce genre de conneries, pour mettre tous vos tokens. Donc ça, c'est vraiment pas
Yeah,
mal.
so actually, let's go back to
Ça vous évite d'avoir une boîte à trimballer.
So actually, he did not use pulling the strings earlier. He's using pulling the strings right now. So as soon as we get a good shot on table two here, let's switch back to that and see this double tap
Bon, Nico, tu remarqueras
with the
que ces dés
snowtroopers here.
noirs à lui, ils sont pétés comme les
We'll go over
tiens.
there in just a second.
So yeah, really interesting. He was able to double move, flamethrower that unit, and now he's using pulling the strings to get another steady movement. One of the great things about Palpatine and Snowtroopers is you're not only getting extra attacks, you're getting extra movement. You're doubling down.
Yeah,
That's what's so cool about it.
smash made in heaven.
If I'm feeling silly, sometimes I like to run
Donc
Palpatine
là, on
Vader.
arrive à la fin du round 2, donc on va attaquer le round 3.
Yes.
Du coup, je crois que les deux cartes à un pip du côté rebelle ont été utilisées.
No, but it is fun. So yeah, let's switch over to
Côté impérial, je sais plus ce qu'il a joué en premier. Et il y a une carte à deux pips qui a viré aussi, donc on va voir un petit peu comment ils jouent leur phase de commandement. Oh, il y a un beau petit GT là, je vois un crit, je vois pas mal de touches. On voit un début de calvitie aussi, mais bon, après, oh, c'est pas mon problème.
Yeah, these snowtroopers are really just acting like total shock troopers right now, carving through
Pouf
this
paf,
rebel
pif
line.
paf
I
pouf.
really like that.
Une escouade de snipe qui a dégagé. Enfin, en tout cas, ça en a tout l'air.
Inside a tree is a bad place to hide from a
Salut
flamethrower,
Michael.
turns out.
So it looks like we've got some results. So Kingsley looks like
Kingsley and Cook, they just ended round 2. They're both down a single activation, it looks like. So
right. Okay.
their game is cooking along, but no major drama over there at the moment.
No, so pretty quiet over on that table.
Yeah, been a bit more drama here on R2 table.
A lot hotter, a lot hot, a lot of heat.
Ah, mais lui, il est chiant, il se met devant les dés.
Really interesting.
Pour le coup, on les voit, il se met devant ce con.
I wonder if we have someone manning that tripod shot, if we can position that over on the other table for a minute just to get
Bon, on a un mort.
a look at some of that cool terrain.
Yeah, well, so here's another report from the other table too. It looks like
Bon, les squads de gardes royaux, ils ont l'air d'être plus que deux.
It's cool, we haven't had a nice close-up shot of this train.
Là, on passe round 3, donc on a la carte 2 pipes des rebelles qui est utilisée, la carte 1 pipe de Krennic qui est utilisée. Donc la carte à 1 pipe de Krennic, elle est vraiment sympa. Vous prenez 3 tokens d'activation au hasard. Vous les mettez devant vous, vous pouvez les regarder. Mais vous les prenez bien au hasard, hein, pas comme on a fait hier. Enfin, pas comme j'ai voulu faire hier plutôt, hein.
Yeah.
Et en fait, vous pouvez choisir si vous préférez prendre un de vos tokens random ou le token que vous avez pioché. Donc ça, c'est vraiment sympa. Ah bah non, Palpate, on voit
Looks like the royal guards have
qui est
taken
là en fait, il est plus
King
sous
They
la
Louis.
have,
souche.
yeah. They have been doing their job, which is to die gloriously in the service of the emperor.
It's true.
But
Now,
yeah, they're starting to lose effectiveness, to be
yeah,
sure.
I did think it was a little odd that he put them out as much as he did.
I do
En
wonder
tout cas,
what
on
was
voit que ça
thinking
commence à
there.
bouger,
I
on voit
wonder if
que
there was a couple units that
l'heure
came
de
out.
jeu est passée.
Perhaps we did miss
Donc
some
là,
big action in this game.
les gars ils se disent, bon, au bout d'un
Definitely,
moment, on
they
sort les doigts du
are
cul, faut y aller.
in a bit of a
Donc
rut
c'est à partir de
right
là
now.
que ça commence à
Yeah.
devenir
Now
un
I
peu
don't
plus
know
intéressant.
I don't know where Kyle's Luke Skywalker is either, because normally those are the royal guards are the countered. I think he might be just. Yeah, I think that's him just past the royal
Donc
guards.
du coup,
So
ici,
they're just trying to
Halo.
protect.
I think they're trying to screen,
bah
and
ici, ils se sont gourés, on voit l'image de Krennic alors que c'est pas la bonne table.
True.
Bon,
but
c'est pas
pretty
grave.
soon.
So I think are they just gonna
Donc là, les
just
cartes
gonna
que
check
vous voyez en haut à
over?
droite, c'est pas la bonne
Yeah,
table.
it looks like
C'est
these royal guards
l'autre.
are just gonna form up and get to a defensive
Well,
hidden
at
position.
this point too, the best use for them is probably to hang back and then tar pit Luke when he moves up.
I love that downed ATSD in the middle is almost indistinguishable from the rest of the terrain. It's all overgrown and mossy.
Yeah,
I really enjoy
Hop,
that.
2 morts.
yeah, definitely. So I have a
Ça,
report from the
c'est
other
sympa,
tables too. So
toujours
Daniel
sympathique.
Lupo lost 2 saboteur units, so
Oh,
not going quite as well for him against Matt Kish, so who has nothing lost yet. So um, we'll give you continuing reports.
all right. Let's flip back to
D'après ce qu'on
table
voit, il n'y a
one.
plus l'air d'avoir
Looks like
trop
they're
de
starting
mines
to
sur le champ de bataille. Je pense
yeah,
que
we can see what command cards they played.
ils ont commencé à tout
No time
péter,
for sorrows
à
versus
tout faire
gracious
péter.
ambition.
Par
Gracious
contre là,
ambition, one of my
Pena, tu me
favorites
fais un
so
peu
far.
mal au cœur
Very
parce que
interesting.
ton armée, elle a quand même pris relativement cher.
And then of course we've got no time for
Luke qui a
sorrows.
toujours pas bougé mais qui a
Leia's
enlevé
command card
tous
is
ses
so
pions
good in this
suppression.
command phase because it allows for one of the very few things that allows for
Il a
command
peut-être fait une
phase.
récupération peut-être.
And that is either
Les
hugely
Fleet
offensive or hugely
Troopers qui sont
defensive,
toujours
right?
là au même
And the beauty
nombre.
of it is you get to see what all the command cards are before you decide how you're going to use that. And if they have played a lower pip card, you can kind of
Ah, par contre, je
factor
sais
in
pas
what
c'est
they're
qui le
playing.
pimpin qu'il y a devant
Grace's ambition is a bit of a mystery because it's so flexible.
le petit,
But this extra movement
le
very
petit
very helpful.
pylône, enfin la petite colonne.
Yeah, usually
Parce
when
qu'il
you
y a un Kumi qui est
play
tout seul.
No Time for Sorrows, you know exactly what you can do with him. It's a really a clutch play. As we saw,
Après honnêtement, j'aimerais bien une victoire impériale quand même à ces Worlds,
Daniel Lupo is
vu avec une délice Palpatine.
good in
Mais c'est vrai que ça me ferait pas mal au cœur de voir des rebelles gagner, même si c'est avec des listes qu'on voit depuis un an. Parce que ça montrerait aux gens que les rebelles, parce qu'ils défendent en blanc, c'est pas de la merde. Les rebelles, une fois que tu sais les jouer, moi je les trouve un peu
Yeah,
supérieurs aux impériaux, mais
we're hearing some of the
après
chatter
c'est qu'une
from
question de
table
goût.
2. Erica's trying to be real careful about those mines. I don't know if any of them have gone off yet, as far as I
You
can
definitely
tell.
don't want the royal guards to step on a mine.
No, that's
But
not
you know,
so
even
good.
if the mines never detonate, they do influence the battle tremendously.
Oh yeah, it creates some interesting
Bon, il y a un
surroundings.
vaporateur en tout cas qui est contrôlé par les rebelles.
Yeah, he's gonna move up. He's
Oh,
gonna get hit by
un
the
petit
mine.
crit, double crit.
Sometimes you have to just clear things to get
Yeah,
through with other
it's
units.
totally true.
Et triple crit, bon, c'est pas dégueulasse.
Mine wise. Nice.
Qui est bien défendu, ça fait plaisir.
Oh, funny. Yeah, they're zoning Luke. They're gonna try to tar pit him if he comes to play. That's very fun.
Yeah, this is table 2.
Oh
we're
yeah,
talking
sorry.
about.
Let's flip over to table 2 and we can kind of see
Un
see
petit
a
dé
deep
blanc pour
angle from the
la phase de
tripod.
ralliement.
The tripod cam
Qu'une
on
seule
table 2.
action, il
Yeah,
va faire la
it
même
looks
chose, il
like
va tirer sur ses
Royal
copains
Guards just kind of like
qui lui ont
screwed the
tiré
heck out.
dessus.
Yeah, they've taken
Je
up a
pense.
position on the ATSC
Yeah, so there's
and
two
they are
guys.
zoning out Luke and trying to defend against him.
Yeah, so I was mistaken
Alors
earlier.
là,
So
l'angle est
it's better
sympa parce
now.
qu'on peut voir là à
Kyle's
droite le
Skywalker
Luke
is right in front of him on
qui
the
commence à
right-hand
avancer
phase
un
there,
petit
and
peu.
it's actually his Leia.
Le
As
Palpatine
per
qui
hit
s'avance
rate,
aussi.
like we thought he would.
Les snipers qui sont là sur la gauche, il y a au moins 2 escouades ici, plus 2 escouades de Storm.
Yeah, I like that place for her. She's being aggressive. She's taking pot
Là je
shots
pense
at
qu'il
stormtroopers,
vérifie
which
s'il a
is
la
good
ligne
use
de
of
vue
her.
sur Luke
Yeah, well, I think she
Skywalker.
took a shot at the Royal Guard.
Yeah, she probably dropped one.
Ah non, c'est
Looks
les
like
squads de
Kyle's
snipe
just
qu'il y
like
a dans le truc.
bringing the twins in from both flanks. I think that's a strong play.
Yeah, he's gonna have to contend. I don't know what his plan is to strike back at those snow troopers,
Those
but
snowtroopers are a problem.
yeah, he's gonna do something about it here. He looks like he still has a squad in front of him, obviously, but I think that squad that was in the
Après, ce
trees
qui est chiant, vu que je
is
stream, du coup, je peux pas avoir l'audio.
down to a
Parce que
single
sinon,
man
vous allez avoir un
with one
écho de
mini
bâtard.
command.
Donc, c'est un peu dommage.
It's so
Et
much fun
comme
to see
mon
competition in
téléphone est
action
sur le
because there's so
chat,
much you can do with
je
him.
peux pas avoir
Oh,
l'audio.
absolutely. Yeah.
C'est un peu chiant. Hop,
So
je reviens.
especially in this game, you're seeing this sort of high level play where like positioning and range and how far you get with certain moves is very important.
Very true.
So it looks like Kyle trying to protect a squad. I imagine they're moving and then they're going to take a shot at those snowtroopers.
Or shoot the move, I'm not sure. But yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to get them towards that tree so that they have some more protection from other stuff.
That's a tricky position to be in,
Very
for
tricky.
sure.
And part of the difficulty here is that I think, like I mentioned, the area around the branches there, where there's actual like a base for the terrain, they're treating it as difficult.
Après, si vous
So
avez
as
des
you close
questions dans le
down,
chat, n'hésitez
you're going
pas.
to move into that.
Je peux vous répondre et Nico
I got a
surtout
question
pourra
from
vous
chat.
répondre.
Can you clarify
Euh,
what the high command will mean in 2020?
bon après, pour ceux qui sont là depuis le début, vous allez dire, dis donc,
Some other structure.
Nicolas,
Changing things up a little
hein.
bit. I can't speak
Mais c'est un
too
très
much
bon
more about
joueur, un très bon
details there,
peintre, donc du
but
coup,
stay tuned for some
j'ai
announcements.
100%
Hopefully he's
confiance
got
en lui.
some interesting plans for the years ahead. So it won't be quite the same format, but that information will be conveyed pretty soon.
Yeah, yeah. Hang in there for that, I guess, because yes, they
Donc
are
là,
gonna.
sur cette table, par contre, on est toujours tour
This is
2,
sort of the I don't
à
know,
1h15 de jeu.
launch of Legion's competitive season, and sort of a smaller scale intentionally. This top 8 worlds game here is as much of a tournament as just a showcase of the game of just a couple very high level players. So I think why one of the reasons there's not more details yet is just that they are doing some working out exactly how they want to do the tournament structure going forward. So we'll have that information soon enough.
All right, Eric's busting out Special Forces.
Special forces.
So that could be snipers. I think that's only Special Forces left. The rail guards are activated already.
Yeah. Besides the royal guards, he went with the three snipers.
Yep. Just quality units.
It's interesting you saw in Matt's list, Emperor Palpatine's pulling the strings target was Death Troopers, where in Eric's list the target is the Snow Troopers. And so far it's gone well. Actually, in a way, the disarray kind of worked out for him, at least in terms of the efficacy of the Snow Troopers,
Yeah,
because they
actually,
need a short range.
it's actually a pretty good mission
Yeah, that
for
or battle
Palpatine.
lines,
I
yeah.
gotta say, because it gets him close to the action. It's interesting. Sniper shot.
Dice flying out of the dice tray.
It's a good shot in the open.
Un petit tir de snipe.
Snipers proving their worth yet again. Yep, chipping away.
Bah, ils ont du matos, oui. Clairement, les plateaux à cartes, ça défonce grave. Mais certains pions custom, c'est des cadeaux qu'ils ont eu, par exemple au Las Vegas Open, à la Depticon. C'est des cadeaux qu'ils ont eu par FFG. C'était dans les kits de tournoi. Genre là, le compte tour que je veux, que j'adore, que je veux, c'est un compte tour qui est dans un des kits de tournoi.
Yeah, I mean he has none now, and he started with 4 at the end of, or he had 4 at the end of the round. So I think he took his actions just to recover. Probably was suppressed and recovered.
Ouh. Ah oui, là, il n'y a pas déconné
Yeah,
avec sa
look at
Z6 quand même.
crits in there.
That's no joke. They don't surge.
No.
So not as good as it looks, but
But the crits,
2 crits is
the
nice.
crits are going straight through any cover that LJ might have on that unit.
They are. Looks
Um,
like 3 hits and 2 crits too, so he might have punched 3 through.
Après, c'est le top 8 mondial, hein,
Maybe not.
no, no, the
forcément,
three
qu'ils ont
surgical.
du matos.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
and look, LJ's fine.
no love.
I think that was at his Death Trooper squad. That one unit out front has a lot of suppression on it.
Been
That
shot
one
a
mini.
number of times.
Yeah, no, I think his Death Trooper squad is actually the one that's just behind the rock a little bit. Yep, so looks like LJ just pivoted from targeting Luke to targeting the fleet troopers. Obviously, he's already done the damage to Luke that matters.
Lui aussi, là, c'est des noirs cassés.
Jordan trying to decide which fleet troopers shall die.
Always a hard choice.
Yep, so now Gordon's sniper's moved out.
Might find snipe combat.
Yeah, do you know if any LJ or Gordon have lost any full units yet? Oh yeah,
Après,
you
honnêtement,
lost
c'est ce
that.
que je disais sur la page aussi.
I believe you lost the
Pour
rebel
moi, en
general
tout cas,
command
hein, c'est mon
right
ressenti, mais je
now.
trouve que
Yeah, I think, yep.
le tournoi qu'on a eu à
Oh, and
l'espace
obviously,
Charenton,
yeah, that's right. LJ lost his
il
Dark
faisait
Command.
quasiment
Yep. And
aussi
actually, what
quali
happened to the other
que ce
medic
qu'on voit
squads?
là,
Did they
quoi.
go down too?
Donc
A little
pour
hard
moi,
to see
c'est un peu ouf
from this angle, but I
de
think
voir
he
des
may have
Worlds
gotten that squad
comme
moved
ça,
as
alors que
well.
nous, on a Raph qui s'est occupé
Yeah, if
tout
you need
seul
to move the
du
TIE fighter
side
maybe
event de
to
Charenton en
flank
2018
Yeah,
there,
maybe
get
get
it
a
close
et
up
qui
few
nous a
kind of
fait
in
un
the
truc
middle
aussi
of that
qualitatif
action.
que ce qu'on
because
voit là,
LJ's
quoi,
army
à lui
around
tout seul.
the pillar. We could see what units he has left.
Alright. Oh, very cool. Hey, ooh, we're getting some high detail. Actually, that's pretty cool. Yeah, alright, so it looks like it kind of looks to me like both of the units
Après, j'espère
of
aussi, surtout,
medical droid
que
stormtroopers have been taken out.
cette année, il y
The
aura
death troopers are holding strong in the middle there.
un
Yeah, so what's
tournoi de
funny is
France, entre guillemets,
LJ with his
à l'espace Charenton, ou au moins que ce soit
But his
un rally
deployment is
point
very
qualifier,
dramatic.
he was actually talking about his army earlier.
comme c'est
They're
la
not
nouvelle politique de
it's
FFG,
not
mais
black so much as a dark green.
Oh, that's
j'espère
cool.
qu'on aura
I'll
ça
have to
cette
get a
année en
closer
tout
look
cas,
at that
ou
if
un
it's
vrai
Yeah,
tournoi
yeah, you
majeur
would expect it
en
this
France,
clean for all of his units, so
parce
it is
qu'on
a
en
little
a
bit
à
bigger than
Londres,
normal.
etc. Mais en France, pour l'instant,
I
on l'a
think
un
they're
peu
in the
dans le cul.
middle, if I'm judging my poses correctly.
Donc on verra
Can
en
we zoom
novembre.
in at that
Vous m'excusez, je vais aller ouvrir à
squad
mon
by
choc qui est
by
con
the
comme un
cloak
valet.
above the bone thing? You may have to wait for this shoulder part there. And then tilt up a little. Actually, we're looking for the Imperial squad
Et j'espère surtout
above
que
bone.
si on a un tournoi, même un side
Yeah,
event
sorry,
sur
stand by
Légion,
while
j'espère que
we're getting
Ah, there we go.
our
on
pods
s'y
lined
verra
up.
What are they?
tous.
Are they
Ça,
death
ça me
troopers?
plairait beaucoup.
No, that's a stormtrooper squad.
Oh, okay.
The Death Trooper.
Oh, yeah, alright. So, yeah, it looks like a big squad of stormtroopers holding down that middle. The death troopers are down to just 3 models?
I think so. Yeah, they're the ones on
And
the
they are
right
holding up
there.
the flanks. So it looks like the rebels are actually kind of pushing the Empire back.
Ah
slowly
ok,
but
il y a un
surely.
saboteur,
And I
enfin
think
il y
what's
a un
happening
vaporateur
is
ici.
LJ is spending so much time
Ah ah.
dealing with that far right flank that it's allowed the other rebels to advance, claim ground, and start removing basic troopers.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
got two different tactics going on here. And what we're starting to see is like the rebel gun line is just pushing forward and starting to claim more and more casualties. And I think
Yeah.
that's gonna really put Gordon in a position to win this thing, even without Luke Skywalker directly contributing much to the fight.
Right. Now it may end up pretty even though, at least in terms of units eliminated. If you look on
Parce qu'en vrai,
the right there,
il y a des gens qui sont assez actifs sur la chaîne et que j'aimerais bien
Yeah,
rencontrer
I mean, this is a
autour d'une
dramatic
table
game.
en
There's
vrai.
a lot of
Ça me
there's a
ferait
lot of blaster
extrêmement
shots flying
plaisir.
around, and
yeah,
you can see the sniper war has worn
Et peut-être qui sait que j'aurai l'occasion d'affronter certains d'entre vous après The Clone Wars, et ça va être un gros délire ça aussi. Ça va énormément changer la méta, donc, que du bonheur.
Yeah. Yeah, and now LJ has actually taken most of his sniper shots on other
Mm.
units, not on
Yeah.
Gordon's
Par
sniper.
contre, ce qui m'étonne, c'est, d'après ce que j'ai vu, hein, les boîtes ont l'air d'être plus chères pour Clone Wars que celles qu'on a actuellement. Donc à voir. En tout cas, la boîte de base, elle est plus chère.
I think so.
Mais
Yeah.
on
He,
verra pour les boîtes de troupes classiques.
yeah, that might be.
So it looks like Gordon might be in position to win the sniper war here. And once you've removed the enemy snipers, your snipers are pretty invulnerable.
Well, and that's an important point too here, like we've been saying, where I don't think that any of these players are going to be able to make like a push to actually interact with their opponent's moisture evaporators. So it's really coming down to points destroyed, and it's a matter of both taking opportunities to capitalize on your opponent being out of position and actually eliminate a unit, but at the same time also being protective of your vulnerable units. And so LJ is in a little bit of a tough spot where, like, obviously his snipers have taken a beating. I think each one maybe has one guy left, or he might have lost a squad. So,
Target party is
yeah.
tough when you have a lot of really scary threats on the board. I mean, I think concentrating on Luke is a really good choice because you can't just let him get up there and tear you apart.
Right, but at the same
But
time,
that leaves you really vulnerable to everybody else's shooting.
well, yeah, and LJ was really never going to actually eliminate Luke, not
No,
from
probably
this
not.
range. It was just to keep him away. So that's damage that he put into something that he's not actually going to get points out of.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's damage that isn't
Je pense que ton
removing
message,
dice
Nico,
from the
il y a
enemy's
plus de figues.
position.
Honnêtement, je sais pas du tout. Parce que je crois que pour les clones, c'est la même chose que les Storms. Par contre, pour les rebelles, je crois que les droïdes, il y en a un peu plus. Après, je pense que c'est plus cher parce que je crois que ça passe sur grappe maintenant. Donc du coup, c'est peut-être pour ça que c'est plus cher. Après, à voir si la qualité est au rendez-vous, moi ça me dérange pas. Ça va peut-être faire chier certains, mais je crois que du coup c'est pour ça. Comme ça passe sur grappe. Je suis désolé si vous entendez mon paquet de Monaco là.
Yeah. Leia, of course, has now moved into a position to support her troops. And what I love about Leia, she's an inexpensive commander. She's got great support abilities. And then if the game
Bon, il
starts
reste
going
une
your
trentaine
way,
de
or you
minutes
need
de jeu.
to defend yourself, she can actually come in and just really start putting the hurt on troopers. Because barricades, covers, no protection against her.
Après, j'ai pas l'habitude du scénario d'évaporateur. Je sais pas s'il y en a 4 ou 5.
And with 5 wounds and a medical droid there, she's not a great target in return.
En gros, ce qui peut faire gagner la partie à Pena là, c'est que Boba aille chercher sa
Yeah,
prime
that's
quoi.
true. Yeah, she's got the white save, so she's got 6 wounds. She's not too hard to defeat, but if you've been concentrating on other things and then she sort of comes into the mix, it's not a great thing to have to suddenly deal with. So I really like her ability to just sort of cruise up and start knocking down stormtroopers from a good defensive position.
Yeah. Yeah, so LJ just saying there he's definitely down, I think, two squads.
Oh, Krennic.
Krennic's moving.
Hey, listen,
Alors
Krennic
par
can
contre,
get the job done
Krennic,
too.
on dirait qu'il est même pas peint.
Range 2 on that. Is he at range 2 on that?
He's
feature?
not as attractive a combat choice as Leia, but you know what? He can bring the party.
Well, he has 6 health too.
He's got 6 health, and his gun is not bad. You almost never
pretty
use it because
good.
he's busy doing other things, but this is, I think, the mark of a good player. You leverage every little bit of.
J'ai pas compris ton message, Nico. Tu me dis 4 à quel propos?
A fine place to be.
He's not taking a shot at the fleet.
Parce que j'ai 30 à 40 secondes de décalage avec toi, donc du coup j'ai complètement zappé ce que je disais.
That corridor, be behind the barricade, that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. All right.
Ah oui, donc du coup il y en a 4, donc ouais.
Part of what players should agree to
Ce qui
before
permettra à
doing
Pena de
this.
gagner la partie, c'est s'il
Talking about
récupère
the
sa
rain,
prime,
but
quoi. Parce
that
que
might
là,
be
il y a
something
l'air
that'd be
d'avoir
good to clarify in upcoming
un
updates.
vaporateur pour. Enfin, deux
There's a speeder
vaporateurs
nor
pour
jump
l'Empire,
would
deux
allow a unit
vaporateurs
to
pour les rebelles.
teleport from inside of a building to the roof, or vice versa.
Right, even through a window or something like that. I think that's something that we can pretty easily address
Yeah, for
in the rules.
both speeder and jump, the idea there is you are ignoring the height of the terrain.
Et
Um,
justement, c'est
Ignoring
intéressant
the
de voir
shorthand. You can jump onto things,
comment
you
est-ce
can
qu'il
jump
va s'en
over
sortir
things.
pour le
you can
coup.
jump off of
Parce qu'on
Should
things.
voit
be
qu'il
able
y
to
a quand
jump
même pas mal
through things.
Yes, exactly.
Solid
élagué
objects.
Say for example,
les petits
we've
fleet
seen this
troopers.
board we're looking at right now has these pillars.
Il
You
va
could jump
reculer.
through the pillar
But if he
from
had the
one
height,
side to the
if the
other.
pillar was a little shorter, he could jump onto it
Exactly.
or over
Yes.
it.
Donc ça, à mon
So
avis,
you
c'est
know,
pour éviter d'avoir une escouade
speeder jump,
rasée.
no
Je pense
teleporting through
au colabérage.
walls or roofs. Sorry.
Parce que là, pour l'instant, ça s'annonce
Not
être une
force ghosts
égalité.
in the game
Yeah,
yet.
but
Donc
worth
à
clarifying
moins
for sure.
Yeah,
que
definitely.
Boba, vraiment,
We can
il
easily
a
address.
Yeah, and
un
that's
full
something
coup
I
de
mentioned
luck.
too earlier that
Sachant que
all the
je crois
players
qu'il est
here,
déjà
the
activé pour ce
guidelines that we
tour.
have for the train are
Et les Deaths
basically
aussi,
the
donc à
guidelines
la
the players
limite les
themselves
Deaths auraient pu faire quelques dégâts
agreeing on. Even at this like type of level,
sur
right? The
Luke
player
éventuellement, mais
themselves should be agreeing on how to treat certain elements of the train, and I mean same goes for casual games too. You know, sit down, talk with your opponent. You know, make sure there's any nuances. Maybe you guys have stairs or steps or an escalator or things like that that you want to say like, oh, you don't have to climb a clamber to move this.
Or a funicular. How does that work?
I don't know.
What if you have
What if you have two
mais bon, en tout cas, il y a l'air d'avoir une bonne ambiance
so,
entre les joueurs,
yeah, so
donc ça c'est
absolutely.
cool.
That's the train rules have always been
Ça montre un
sort
peu
of a
que notre
little
passion,
fascinating to me,
c'est
specifically because we want people to
on
build
n'est
their
pas
own
là
trains.
pour se cracher
Yeah,
sur la gueule, quoi.
it's our first hobby game, so
Sauf
it's
certains,
the rules is,
évidemment,
of
il y
course,
en
you
a,
can
bon
play
voilà,
on any surface, any table, you
je
can
ne
use
citerai pas de nom,
creativity.
mais
One of the challenges, of course,
il y en
is
a
that
qui sont un
there
peu
are going to be
chiants.
little corner case things.
On
There's
en
going
a
to be things
rencontré à
that aren't
l'espace
quite clear.
Charenton.
Now we are slowly working to address some of the major questions like how does jump work
Mais
when
bon,
you're underneath
hein,
a roof and that
il
kind of
y
thing.
a
But,
tout. Il y a tout.
it's
Après,
rising
c'est
to a
des
level
gens qui
where
se
we're
connaissent,
getting a lot
donc
of
au
questions.
final,
We can
je me
definitely
dis
add
que
that
c'est normal
to
qu'il y
the
ait
rules, but
il y a
the
une bonne
terrain
ambiance parce que
compendium is not now
c'est des gens
or
qui se
whatever
voient à tous les
going to
tournois
be
majeurs.
fully conclusive, exhaustive. There's always going to be, we haven't defined rules for lava, we haven't defined all kinds of stuff because we want people to be creative.
Yeah.
Tournament organizers, as long as I think the rules are defined prior to the match and agreed on by both players,
Yes.
I think you're in business. And we're going to expand where we can and try to make it a little easier, but we're never going to be able to have an encyclopedic list of every conceivable terrain type.
Well, especially where you get these sort of
Alors
terrain pieces that are
là, c'est qu'on n'a pas le bon angle de caméra.
Situation where you say, well, if
Je
you're going over
vois
this
pas
part
trop
of
ce
it's
qu'il est en train de
heavy
faire
cover,
en
maybe
fait.
going over this part is difficult, and this part of it is heavy cover, but maybe this part of it's light cover. And, the rules reference is not going to address something that maybe has all those different nuances. Maybe it's a building or something like that, or some ruins plus foliage. So,
Portée 2, ça c'est le gun de Luke, ou en tout cas je pense. Portée 3, donc c'est Boba peut-être. Ah, donc il est en train de jouer Luke. Et il y a des balls quand même, hein. Parce que s'il se rapproche de Luke, pas de Boba, certes il lui reste quand même un bon petit pool de PV, mais il leur reste 27 minutes, je pense que c'est bientôt la fin du tour. Tour 4, on va voir une carte de Boba arriver, c'est sûr. Une carte de Boba ou une carte à priorité 1 quoi. Ah oui, il y avait une touche. Ouais, je crois qu'ils sont en train de discuter de ça au niveau du blocage. Est-ce qu'il prend un PV ou pas? Parce que du coup, grâce à son insensible, il lance plusieurs indés supplémentaires par unité de perforant. Donc là, ouais, je pense qu'il est en train de lui expliquer du coup qu'il bloque le perforant 2, mais que du coup, avec celui qui a lancé en plus, il bloque la touche. Il prendra juste donc un peu de suppression, ouais, c'est bien ça. Boba Fett, 140 points, je peux vous assurer qu'il est beau. Largement.
Yep. So that's your Mandalorian armor for you. Don't mess around.
Yeah, impervious is a little bit tricky, especially when you have a weird situation like a single hit with a pierce to your weapon.
Yeah, and that's where actually in more simple setups you can just sort of play things through, but